Good morning, welcome back to Fujitsu Forum TV. You join us on day 2 of Fujitsu Forum 2019, where the guests from more than 80 countries around the world will be coming back to experience more innovation and understand the latest thinking from the wonderful people at Fujitsu, their partners and customers. As yesterday, we're within the center of the digital transformation zone here at Fujitsu Forum, where guests get to come and experience all the latest technology that's in play, whether that's AI, digital enabler, the quantum-inspired digital enabler, of course, or whether that's understanding how ecosystems should be built. But most importantly, everyone is looking at how they build a trusted future. Of course, the title for this year's Fujitsu Forum is Driving a Trusted Future. There's been a lot happening in recent years, technology-wise, that's caused some cynicism within tech. I mean, if you think about the high-profile cases like Facebook's Cambridge Analytica, made skeptics of a lot of us, didn't it? How is our data stored? Well, where is it stored? How is it processed? Lots of valid questions. If we're truly going to move to a scenario where technology is going to address those key business problems and societal challenges that we all face, the technology needs to be delivered with greater ethics and morality. Part of Fujitsu's commitment to this comes through their technology and service vision, the Fujitsu Technology and Service Vision. With me to help me understand what that is, what it means, and the great statistics that we've pulled out of it, a familiar face to Fujitsu Forum TV viewers, David Gentle, Director of Strategy and Foresight. 80 pages of a document I read through, flush full of insight, too much to share with viewers. We've pulled out some of the statistics, which I know you were talking a lot about yesterday. We'll put those on screen now so viewers can understand what is within the document. Should be able to see it up on the plasma and over your left shoulder. There we go. So 77% of people are more likely to trust organizations that set out a clear vision. We've got 74% of organizations develop products and services in collaboration with customers. 67% of organizations are undergoing digital transformation. 66% of leaders say their organizations leverage an ecosystem, and 67% of people trust organizations that make a positive impact. I'm going to drill into those in a moment, but I want to start with the vision. Isn't this just a flash way of saying we've got a mission statement? Does it mean anything? Does it do anything?
So that's a really good challenge, and I think visions do get a lot of bad press around. It's about being worthy, it's about having some good PR and so on. I would take it just back a notch, and actually one of the messages that we're talking about here at Forum is around sort of the changes that are happening in the world at the moment. You mentioned sort of issues around data and privacy and so on, and it goes much wider than this. We think actually the world is entering a period where things are becoming very chaotic. Businesses have never been more complex to run. Things are very uncertain. Organizations are getting hit left, right and center by disruption. There's all sorts of things going on that can really pull a rug from under a business. And I would argue it's always been important to have a clear vision for a business where you're going. But I think now it's particularly important to be able to kind of navigate this period of chaos and complexity. Because if you don't have a clear way of seeing where you're going, I think you'll really get into trouble in this current period. And we could see from that stat that you pulled up earlier, 67% of people or trust an organisation that sets out a vision. I mean, that tells you everything about the importance of having a vision. And trust is really at the root of business. This is what all businesses do: is they need to establish trust with their customers and their employees and their partners.
I don't think there's any attendee of Fujitsu Forum, if I stopped them and said, digital transformation, how important is it? I think 100% would say, absolutely. Yet there are boardrooms out there that are failing on this. Why is that?
So I think there's a very simple answer to that question, and that is because it is really difficult. It is extremely difficult. And I think people think digital transformation, that's just another digital project that I just put some resources in and bang, here's my outcome. And the thing with digital transformation, it's really about actually, it's in the word, it's about transforming your business, changing the way that your business operates. And
so it's not just the technology, but the business, the people, the processes.
Absolutely, yeah, and in a way, and this is again one of the messages of Forum. I mean, you've seen probably when you come into the event, front, right and centre, we've got our digital co-creation, digital transformation centre, where we're really showcasing co-creation. And we think this is fundamental, really, to digital transformation, to be able to just take a step back, not dive into the technology, but really try and understand, well, actually, what am I trying to do? What is my business trying to achieve? What is my objective? Before then getting into the technology. And I think that is absolutely crucial. And I think if you don't do that, you can get lost in technology, and you can find innovation extremely difficult. So we think it is about changing the approach, because it is such a major thing.
I mean, that's a fair point. I accept that. 2/3 of those surveyed doing fine with transformation, but there's a third that aren't doing anything. Why is there so many that haven't got to grips with this? Are they just daunted by the points that you've just made, or?
So I think, it's like anything with technology. There's an adoption cycle. There's some people that sort of get into it early. There's sort of middle adopters and late adopters. And I think what we're seeing with digital transformation is a similar effect. There's a lot of companies that are out there that have kind of created a lead and been able to transform their businesses, or create new startups that have been extremely successful in the digital area. I think there's some companies. Maybe they feel like they're what they do is very much sort of embedded in a physical world. You can think of organisations like construction companies, where perhaps it's harder to find an application for technology. But it will certainly come to all organisations. But I think it comes back to the point I made just now, that it is difficult. And one thing that is perhaps not obvious behind that statistic is that of the 2/3 that are undergoing digital transformation, most of those are quite a long way from completing it.
Right.
We find that a lot of the people we talk to are finding it difficult to execute on a lot of their digital projects.
Still on their journey,
and they're
nowhere near
still on their
destination.
journey, yeah.
Okay.
And arguably, actually, it may not be a journey with a final destination. It may actually be just a continual now process of evolution.
We heard in the opening keynote yesterday the importance of ecosystems. That was then further reinforced in the second keynote, where we heard from the Fujitsu partners, and we had a couple of segments on Fujitsu Forum TV. There's a third that haven't got ecosystems, but I suspect the answer is probably going to be similar. Ecosystems are important, right? So the third that aren't embedding them, they've got a bit of work to do.
Yeah, so and this is an interesting one, because the world I live in, for me, ecosystems are extremely important and a really major piece of the digital transformation story and the innovation story. And certainly, this is one of the reasons we've made it such a big message at Forum this year, because we think it's absolutely crucial. I think something that we've seen is that digital companies. So, if you look at the really successful digital companies like Netflix or Amazon, they always talk about ecosystem, and it's perhaps something that doesn't get so much attention, but ecosystems are really fundamental to the way that new emerging digital companies operate. And again, I think it's a process of sort of just trying to get all organisations to recognise how important it is to have that ecosystem of organisations around you to be able to deliver innovation. And again, it's back to the point about the world is changing. The world is not the same as it was 10 years ago, and certainly in 10 years' time, it's going to be very different. And you can't. It's so much harder now to operate in isolation as an organisation. So you need to have these partners around you, and not just partners, and customers. Customers are starting to become part of the ecosystem. Customers being able to feed back into your product or into your service, and actually be part of how that is developed. So we think it's very important. And again, back to your earlier point, perhaps the reason that it's not everyone kind of aligns with some of these other things. You can't. It's very difficult to deliver digital transformation if you're not leveraging an ecosystem. So you need to do. It's not just one of these things. You need to kind of be aware of all of them, and they all align and they all support one another.
We're within an age where responsible business is critically important, and CSR initiatives are hugely impactful, and they need to be delivered. I saw almost 2/3 of respondents say that they're committed to making a difference. What I'm keen to understand is, are they just CSR messages, or is there real depth behind those businesses coming out and saying, I want to make an impact? Because I can't imagine any business is going to come out and say, no, we don't want to make an impact on society. Is there depth and meaning there, though?
So I think, again, it's something that is often a topic of whitewash, marketing wash or whatever. Clearly you can build some very good PR around social responsibility and so on, but it does go a lot deeper than that, and it comes back to the point about the way that the world is at the moment, and the fact that the world is becoming more complex, more chaotic, faster moving. There's more disruption, and it really is imperative for organisations to understand where they sit in that. I mean, not just with regard to their customers, but with regard to wider society. And we've seen the last 5 years, there are countless examples from lots of different sectors where organisations have really come majorly unstuck. I mean, we can all think of examples where they have taken their eye off the ball around their role in society and what responsibility they have to wider society. So it's crucial, we think. I mean, not just to do the right thing, but actually, if you want to be a successful business, if you want to be a business for the future, if you want to see where you're going, back to the point about vision, it's absolutely crucial that you have an understanding of, this idea of where you sit, what your purpose is, and what you're driving for. So it goes way beyond, a good marketing story. We think it should be absolutely integral to the heart of the organisation and its purpose. And certainly this is something in Fujitsu, with our Japanese heritage, we've always felt really passionately about having this idea of social responsibility. We think it's really important.
David, thank you so much for coming and facing those questions. So there you have it, the Fujitsu Technology and Service Vision. It is far more than just corporate PR fluff. There's real depth and real purpose within the document. If you're interested to take a look, you can Google Fujitsu Technology and Service Vision. You'll find the link as PDF that you can download. It is packed full of great insight. And we are going to continue to bring you insight this morning. Next, we're going to jump across to security. Automation's been a theme at Fujitsu Forum 2019, hasn't it? Cynics out there are saying this is automation doing away with human roles. It's absolutely not. Fujitsu is wholly committed to a human-centric digital transformation program. The security example we're about to bring you is one fine example of automation in progress. Analysts that are being released from mundane tasks, freed up to deal with the more complex analytical tasks in making sure that they're protected in an age when cyber attacks are on the rise. You may remember last year, the cost of cybercrime, $610 billion. Surely it's only gone up in 12 months, hasn't it? What's also gone up is how you need to act from a security perspective, getting on the front foot. Next, we're talking to the security team, and they're going to help you understand what you need to know and what you should be doing. What time are we at? 8:44. 16 minutes time, we'll be back with that 9 o'clock. See you soon.